How's it going? I've seen a lot of videos out there for various Audis. This is a 2016 A3 rear passenger window where the regulator, as you can see there, was all blown out. The cable's all messed up. It was making a cracking sound, and so I followed a few videos to kind of figure out how to take the door off. They're all a little different. This one in particular was a lot easier, I think, than some, but anyway, I'm going to try to show this video in reverse, basically installing the new regulator that I have here and going steps back to reinstalling the door, putting everything together. And if you can follow that, that should be pretty straightforward on how to take everything apart. I didn't have to. I couldn't find a way, honestly, to take this off here. So, I mucked around with some bolts and I could not figure out a way. But that said, the solution that I did find was, I can pass this the new regulator through these openings, through this opening here and down the speaker area. When I was removing the old regulator, I was capable of pulling everything through this opening here. I've read that some people, they'll cut the end of the fastener off. I didn't have that problem, but again, maybe it all depends on how this thing was broken, and anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do this single-handedly. No joke here, but I may have to pause the video periodically to get some stuff in. So again, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fish this through here, and it's pretty straightforward. There you go already. Like it's in there. You might have to fiddle around with a beam, a door beam, whatnot, and I'm already having problems. So 1 sec. Okay, yeah, that was it was on a beam down there, so I fiddle around, and now you can see there's the lower portion of it, there's the upper portion of it. I gotta get that fastener up on that hole right there, and the lower fastener I've gotta get on that hole right there. So 1 sec, and I'll have that in place, and I'll be right back. All right, so I just finger tightened these, or threaded them on their fasteners. The next thing I would probably do here is on the regulator itself, go align those these pins and then pass them through, and again they'll pop right into place, as you can see right there. So that's all taken care of. Next thing will actually be putting the old window in, or dropping the window in. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the pins, and I'm basically just going to try to push it, to engage these clips here. And then once I have that in, I think I'll be able to put the seals back on. Maybe I'll run those in. Obviously, run those in first, so that the window has something to guide along. And oops, sorry, my camera wasn't there. But yeah, basically drop these things in here and here, and then yeah, get the window in. So be back in a shake. Yeah, so I'll totally recommend like getting the seal on properly all throughout the door frame. Also, when you're feeding this through, there's a little plastic clip down there that you'll want to get the seal seated in there. Nothing like that on the other side. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll bring the window in. I'll get it into the groove it needs to be in, and then I'll start lowering it into where I mentioned to pick up the regulator. All right, we're at a point now where I got the window in, and you can kind of see it's in the seal there. Obviously, you can't see it in that seal, but it is in there. The regulator, as I push the window down, the regulator is going to stop at a certain position. I'm not sure. Right now, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to muck around again with the regulator position, and again try to push the window into, through those guides, and pop the window onto the regulator. It's tempered glass. These things can take a pretty good beating without any breakage, and I'm not really concerned about breaking it. So, I'll be back again, and hopefully at that point I will have got the window inserted into those two locations. Okay, all right, back again, and basically I did move it around a little. I have not engaged them yet, but now they're resting on there. Got my hand on the top of the window, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a push there. There's one, and I can't tell if the other one is in there, but what I can use is I could pull the window up. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up with one hand, so just bear with me again. All right, so pulling the window up here, and I just pulling up with my hand here and lowering it with my hand. You can see that it has engaged. That one's a little harder to see, but it has engaged both, so we're good to go there. Next is start putting this stuff back together, and I'll do that in a sequence here to show you again how to do that in the order that it came off, so that when you are removing everything, you're kind of following the same steps. All right, so we got these pieces here. This one, obviously fits in this location, and then I got the other one here. Don't mind the tape. This is when I had to patch it up temporarily. I'm gonna probably use Goof Off to remove the adhesive from the duct tape that I had on there. These are pretty simple when they're being reinstalled. More or less, it's kind of they'll have to be down, and you'll have to push up, but also buried behind here, and I guess this is where it makes sense to have the window down. You can see there's 3 locations there. That's where, oops, losing the phone. That's where these will align with. So this will tuck underneath, like so, and you'll got to get it. And again, I'm going to be doing this, probably have to do it with 2 hands, but you'll see that once it's in place, I'll show you the video or show the explanation of how I did this. One more thing, guys. See, there's that little notch right here. That's where that little tooth has to engage, and then you obviously again push up, and that's where it'll lock it into place. All right, even more. So there's also this lip here that my finger's on right now. That has to go over this edge. So you're going to kind of like wrap it around that edge. I'm going to pull the seal out of the way. And again, you can kind of see that gap there. So this little tongue right there is going to fit in that hole that I showed earlier. And then you'll be able to slide the whole thing up, and it should be in place to reinstall the fasteners. Okay, so that was done, and the fasteners aren't in yet, but you can see they align with the holes. There you go, align with the holes there, and down there almost. And once you get the fastener, it's gonna be fine. But up top, everything's groovy. It all fits in place. Bottom, that's okay for now, because again, we've got another piece that runs along here. Now the next one, same sort of thing. So it's got, again, that lip, you can see right here. That's going to go around this edge. I don't think that it has any other tongue and groove thing that you have to worry about. So it looks like, and again, this is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass holding or trying to do it with one hand. But you're going to pry keep your fingers on the seal to keep it, spread away from the door frame, and then reinstall this. Check your seal both sides, and then once this is seated in place properly, you can go throw in the fastener. So that's coming up next. Yeah, that one's like super easy. Same thing. Don't worry about down here yet, because you will be putting this other trim on here. I'm going to go throw the fasteners in, and then we'll continue on. All right, I was just finishing up the last Torx. This is a Torx 20 or a T20, but yeah, it's the last one on here. And once that's done, yeah, with a little bit of pain in the ass here. All right, there we go. And I use these little, what are they, like, what the hell, neodymium, I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, they're these really strong magnets. I use those because these aren't magnetic, and it really helps you sometimes to catch fasteners or fasteners that may or may not stay on here. So yeah, that's on now. I'm gonna pop the seal in on both sides, which is again pretty super simple, as you can see right there. And then I'll go check the perimeter on the inside of the door, and then we'll go install this piece here. All right, so this is the trim piece that I was referring to. I don't know if I need to use any glue or anything to hold that on. I mean, it seems like it's on there pretty good. So I think we're okay. That basically just popped right back on. All right. Next, we're gonna go back on the other side of the door, and I think at this point, really, we could put the speaker back on, because there's nothing else we need to do here. But what I might do first, and probably makes sense to do, I'm going to put the motor back on, which is right here. I'm going to put the motor back on. I'm going to plug it in, and then I'm going to just try the door to make sure that we don't have any problems. But it should work. All right. Be back again. Okay, back again. What I've done... So yeah, I put the the motor back on. I connected the connector. Make sure there's a little red tab here. To remove it, you got to pop that out and then pull the connector out. Put the speaker back in. There's 3 bolts, and then put the connector for that back on. That's all in place. I tested the window, but I had to do it from the driver's side for now, of course, and it works great. So I'm relieved. Next thing is there's this piece of honkin' trim here that I believe goes on next. Yeah, it does go on next. And then finally the door. And no, sorry. Before that, there's one more piece here that I can put on right now too. This plastic cover. It's got a clip for grabbing the harness here. Honestly, it's just as easy as, popping it back in place, and then of course connecting that connector to its to that clamp, to that clip. But yeah, I'll finish that off. But yeah, fairly simple, really. The door, the only thing you have to do is connect this back to the tweeter, and then there is a connector on the door that'll show you that it connects into here, and it's got a similar mechanism, locking mechanism, like this little red tab here. I'll show you that. We'll get the door on, we'll get that piece of trim on, and then there's a tweeter cover, and we're done. So, and also this, and I'll show you how to do that too. That's really simple. Okay, so more to come. Be right back. All right, I thought this would be helpful to show that piece of trim that I showed you that kind of goes around the perimeter here. You've got to get it, you can kind of see it here, it's got to go over that seal. So I'm again, it takes more than just one hand to kind of do this, but you'll see, you feed it over, slowly but surely it'll get in there. I'll show you the finished, but yeah, it takes like 2 hands to kind of feed this in, and then once it's in place, I'll come back and explain a little more. All right, yeah, so it takes a little bit of muscle here, but the fastest way I found was get this over the edge of the door frame, and then you can feed that seal underneath, and it's more or less like squashing it over, and it's on there now. But yeah, it takes a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of muscle to get it back into place. All right, so that's all done. Next is the door card. All right, so again, pretty straightforward here, and all cars are all Audis are different. So these little clips you see here, down there. There's a whole bunch of those, and those correspond to mating with these locations. But of course, before you do that, this is that connector I was telling you about that has to plug back into here. We have enough room to do that, so we'll do that now. And so it's pretty, like I was saying, pretty straightforward. Pop it in, it clicks into place, then lock it in with that red. So again, when you're removing it, pull the red out towards you. Some have are like hinged, but again, depends on the vehicle. And then lastly, the tweeter. This harness is a little too short, so I've got to, again, let go of the phone. That plugs right into there. And then all connections except for this one. Actually, I can probably do that one. I'll show that one before I slide the card on. Pretty simple. The barrel here fits onto that metallic portion there. And then you install it. You install it like this. You hook it on. And then once you rotate this in place, and this blue clip clamps onto this black body here, and then obviously prevents the barrel portion from popping out, and this is what unlocks your door. All right, so let me connect those things together, and then I'll try to, I guess I'll also try to pop the door on, because at this point, that's all the connections are done, and we'll get the door card on. And then lastly, there's these inserts there, one down there that correspond to actually these two bosses that you see here, and there's one below right there. But I'll show you from the inside of the door as to where those screws are. One thing that I that I didn't have to do when I was taking the door card off was this seal was already on the lip of the door card. It seems like it's easier to take it off, and it's got a metallic groove in it that follows the seam of the door here. Best way to do it is feed one end in, like go underneath, down, and then force it along. Likewise, do it start again on this side with that, and then when you press it down, it'll pop into place just like that. I had to kind of work this with a screwdriver to get it in there properly, but again, I don't think that's going to be an issue now because everything is where it needs to be. Lastly is now, you'll take the door. I'm kind of trying to do this with one hand, but you'll hook it on there and lower. It should lower down, and it probably will just take a little bit of work to get it there, and then pop in those, as I said, those locations that I showed earlier. So I'm gonna play around with that, get that going, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that was honestly, it was pretty easy. It was just a matter of pushing everything in place. I also checked, and it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so the holes do line up there, so that's perfect. And again, there's another one down there. I think you can see it. So I'll put those screws in. Last is pop that the tweeter cover plate back on, and this is done. So awesome. All right, so I got those fasteners in. These two up here, and one down below. Last is this card. Kind of follow the tabs. You know, this makes sense that these would go in first, and the rest of these would pop on. So we'll insert it like so, and then just walk the cover on, and bang, and I got the power on, so there you go. Better go clean the window, of course. But yeah, that's it. So I hope this helped. I mean, like I said, I struggled trying to find the exact way to take this thing apart. But truly very simple. And again, I can kind of run through it. Pop this cover off, take those three fasteners out. You'll be able to pry the door off gently, popping those tabs that I showed. From there, you'll lift the door off its hinge, if you will, here. So you'll be able to take the door card off, disconnect the tweeter, power for the door switch, or the window switch, sorry, and any other connections. So there's also, yeah, the door lock, or the door handle for the door lock, and the one going to the window motor, which probably is, again, part of this or that harness assembly. After that, it's taking that plastic cover off, take the speaker off, disconnect the speaker, take the speaker off. You'll have access to inside the door. You get your hands in there. Then you'll take the fasteners off the regulator, the broken regulator. Again, what I did, I pulled all this trim off, and I got the window through after I removed those fasteners. You'll have enough room. There's probably well over an inch of space once you remove the trim and seals and gaskets and whatnot, so to get it out. And then you kind of saw how I put it all back together. So again, I really hope that helps. Yeah, I'm not a professional video editor. I'm not going to take the time to do that either, but I hope that this does help. And if you do have any questions, feel free to comment, and I can try to help walk you through it, or, show you kind of through what I've already done, explain to you how to do it. Most if not all of the fasteners require a T20 Torx head, which pretty easy to find in stores, or you could just buy a full set, depending on what you use it for. And yeah, that's it. So again, other than just cleaning up the crap, the gum and adhesive that's stuck on here, and giving my car a bath, I think we're good to go. So thanks again, and take it easy.